If you're a fan of dual displays on a smartwatch, the ability of having an extended long battery life, and of course using some of the latest technologies and software from Google on a smartwatch, well, the mobvoi Ticwatch Pro 5 is not going to disappoint. We have a lot of updates from the last generation that we've used, and I've been a big fan of Ticwatches for many years now. And I will say this, battery life has improved, performance has improved, UI interface has improved, and of course, overall, the entire design is absolutely stunning. This is TK and this is my review of the Ticwatch Pro 5 from mobvoi. Let's check it out. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos on the channel. So here it is, the Ticwatch Pro 5, again running Android Wear OS by Google, the latest version on it. It does come pre-configured with the two straps on there. Company is mobvoi. So starting off with the big features here, it is featuring the W5 Plus, the Snapdragon W5 Plus Gen 1 wearable platform, way faster, way more power efficient, and will help us get those extended extended life on this device. Rotating crown navigation, that's something that's very new. We no longer have just buttons, we have a button and of course a rotating crown that allows us to actually navigate certain options in the system. Dual display with customizable options on the basically low power display, and that is something new. We haven't seen this before, the ability of actually getting more data while using a low power display. Long battery life, rated to be about 80 hours. I would probably say this, it's a solid 3-day usage before it actually dies. So it's definitely very nice. Of course, fast charging, that's also something brand new that they brought in here. You're able to charge it and about basically much faster than the earlier one, and we'll talk a little bit more. Of course, up to 5 atmosphere, water resistance in there, built-in GPS, obviously compass, as well as barometer. One-tap measurement for multiple health metrics, and we'll talk about that as well. Recovery time with the VO2 max. 100 plus workout modes, which we've seen in the past, and of course, almost an endless supply of watch faces, not just from directly on the Google Play Store, but even with third-party apps. The package is pretty straightforward. You get the watch, it's already pre-assembled, everything's ready to go, and you get, of course, the USB-A to charger. This is the same charger that we had from earlier generations of Ticwatches. So the really nice thing is now I actually have multiple chargers. I don't have to kind of go far to be able to find it. Now, the strap is definitely very soft. It is a rubber strap. You definitely are able to replace it. Let's go ahead and hit home. They're easily replaced, they're easily removed, so you just need to make sure to get the right size. Ticwatch, mobvoi, written right there. The pins for the charger are very much the same thing. You just basically put it facing outwards and you start charging, and it's very simple. It is faster, and not only that, even the counter that we get on this, it allows us to see the percentage increase at a much faster pace. As I talked to you guys in the past, we have microphone and speaker configurations. So on the bottom, we're able to see all the different sensors that they have. Allows us to actually answer, pick up calls, and of course, make calls if you'd like to. Text messages and all that stuff, it obviously are running Wear OS. The strap is very nice, although I felt like the earlier generation used to be a little bit better, but it definitely feels very good. Now, overall, this is the second display. This is when it uses low power mode, meaning at this point, it's barely using the first display, which is an underneath one. If I just rotate the crown a little bit, I'll give it a second to actually pick up. You'll notice it woke up and now it's in blue color, and now I'm actually able to cycle through data. I haven't even left the first display. This is one of the new features that they added. And of course, you can rotate it back all the way to the main one. And if I had this on my hand, there'll be certain measurements that it's able to pick up. What I like about this is that even in essential mode, it's still able to do data tracking when you're sleeping. So it's definitely very nice to save battery. If we press the power button, it definitely takes us back. Let's go ahead and bring it back. Or you can actually touch the display and it'll do the exact same configuration. I've been using it with my Pixel 7 Pro, so it works really nicely with most devices. You just need to download the mobvoi Health app. There is a new app that we need to use with this one, separate from what we had in the past. Since it's still early in the morning, 6:05 in the morning, there's not a lot of information. Let's go ahead and bring it back. If I swipe the crown down, by default, this is going to be the notification. You're able to interact with them. And of course, if I swipe it the other direction, I can get access directly to my notification. The toggles themselves. You are able to customize these toggles, which is also something very nice. Let's go ahead and hit the edit button. And here you are able to basically press and hold and move to wherever position you want. And of course, you can remove things if you don't want. The biggest thing I'll probably say is Google Pay integration, flashlight, this do not touch, ejection of water in case you do get into the pool and swim. You do need to use this function to actually propel the water out of the speaker so there's no damage to the membrane there. Airplane mode, find my device, brightness display. Sleep mode is definitely very nice. There's a couple of options here. There's the do not disturb, which allows you to turn off the notification on the watch, but does not turn off the display, which keeps it running normally. And of course, we have the sleep mode, which turns the display off, so therefore it doesn't brighten up for you at night when you're sleeping. And you do need to press the button on it to be able to turn it back on. Last but not least, let's go ahead and come back here. We have the ability of seeing exactly how much our battery life is, the settings, and of course, notifications. If we click the battery life, this is some of the new options that we have. Switching to essential mode and auto switch to essential mode allows this device to have a very long battery life. And what I mean by this is when you're sleeping at night, there is no reason for it to be running in full mode. So you could turn it on to essential mode, and that basically allows it to run straight on the main display, the top display, not the colored one. And that allows also the battery to go faster, or basically last you longer. I've been doing that at night, which still allows us to get data from it so we can track sleep, and we'll talk about that a little bit more with the app now. And the app that we're talking about is called mobvoi Health. It's a brand new app that they released. It is basically carrying over some of the information that we've seen from the earlier generation, except you still have to basically set it up. So downloading this application will make the watch work perfectly with you. There is no need to connect it to Wear OS or the Wear app anymore. It does get recognized, but you don't need to run it from there. So it runs straight off from here. The biggest thing I'll probably say is information, all of that is aggregated. Again, you're tracking sleep, even though I was in essential mode. Of course, the SpO2 measurement as I was sleeping, all of that in there. And of course, you're able to customize all the information and go back and check the history information in there. Under device, you're able to customize the tiles, sync the watch screenshots if you want to be able to do that, and then of course quick control. So I can go into tiles in here. You can see those are all the tiles that we have access to, the ones I've activated, the ones I have not activated, and of course I can add all of those things in there and then organize them in the order that I want based on the little tiles on the left. So I can press and hold on this one on the tick pulse and then move it to wherever I want. You can customize that again to your personal liking. Under settings, you're able to customize most of the things that you can do on the watch. So from the display, you have obviously screen timeout. We had it at 15 seconds, sound and vibration. You can customize incoming calls, silencing the phone when the watch is when you're wearing the watch, and of course silencing the watch itself. Gesture support, basically just touch to wake. That's simple. We have that as well. App notification, you can go in there, customize the different apps, we'll let it load. Out of the box, you can customize all the apps that can push notifications directly in there. And in general, as long as it's sitting in your notification panel, you should be able to mirror it. So an example would be right here. If I swipe up from the bottom, we have Subcase in here. We have congratulations, Tika. This is Aralo. Somebody used the referral code there. Leah in there. All of that information in there is sitting in my notification panel. So if I swipe it away from here, it will swipe it away from there. So an example would be here. Let's go ahead and bring it up. We're going to go all the way to the bottom and let's let it go. And that takes away all the notifications on the watch and now matches the phone. Basically the same thing. Under general, show unread count, pretty much straightforward here. Accessibility, magnification, talkback, calendar information. You can sync up all the different informations in there. Accounts, by default, this is something that you need to set up. I did set it up directly with my main account. You can customize and add additional ones if you want to. Under system, screenshots, developer mode, tools, and of course, you have the about device, privacy mode, and last but not least, an unpair and reset. And we do not need to actually pair it, well, put it on a charger to do so. So very simple, very easy. You can go in there, edit the watch face that you have here. As far as the dashboard, I'll give it a second to finish. And in this complication specifically, you're able to customize all of the different toggles and select which ones you want to be able to do. Not all complications will allow it to do that, but you can definitely see it there. It says connected, battery percentage directly from the watch, and of course we have the ability of reconnecting in case we miss a connection, but it works great. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. You're able to go back in here, see all the data information, and sync it up directly if you're not showing all the information in there. You are able to log into your own account, and the beauty about this is that if I log into this app from another device, all that information is already synced up to the server and I don't miss any of that. So it's really nice to be able to keep track of all your data. Now, being that this is running Wear OS, it means that we actually have the ability of going in. Now we have an app drawer. Let's go ahead and start spinning through. We have calculator, alarm, essential mode. That's the one we talked about. Find My Phone, of course, flashlight. Google Wallet will require you to set up a PIN on this, so you do have the ability of turning it on and customizing it. Hand watch timer, of course, Google Maps in there, media controls for when you're listening to content on your watch. Messages will sync up to the messages directly on your phone, so it's really nice to be able to get the same content on both of them. mobvoi privacy, the mobvoi treadmill there, if you have that, you'll be able to use it. The one-touch measurement, it's really nice. Let's go ahead and just do that in here. So we had a couple of measurements in there, 2 out of the 5 that are running there. They're still measuring the other options. And this is one of the really nice things, so you don't have to actually run multiple different measurement options and then wait for them to finish. It'll finish all 4 or 5 of them and get you all that information at the same time. It's really nice. Phone functionality, again, same thing. You connect it to your phone, you'll be able to use it. And as you can imagine, because this is running Wear OS, we're able to actually access the Google Play Store and download and install applications. Settings, Spotify, stopwatch in there, the tick barometer, Tick Breathe, Tick Care, all of those are the Tick Compass apps. So these are the barometer and the compass that they were talking about. Tick Exercise, Tick Health, Tick Oxygen, Tick Pulse, all of those are customized apps to be able to run We have the weather and of course YouTube Music. And very soon we'll also be able to download the WhatsApp app directly on our watch to be able to respond and access our our chats directly on the watch. Unfortunately, that one was not available at the time of this review, but this was something that was announced and should be coming up very soon, and this watch should be able to support it. And then of course all your health data is aggregated directly into the system, and you download it and into the app, so you can actually aggregate it, add information, and then of course check it out all on the app itself. We used to use the mobvoi app, that used to be that little icon at the top, and now we're using the mobvoi help app, and all of that works perfectly. Lastly, to change your watch face on the watch itself, it's pretty simple. You just basically select the watch, press and hold, and then you can swipe through. All those options that you have in here are the ones that are pre-built into the watch. That's the one we were using before, the complication, and again, you can customize it, scroll through all of them. Last but not least, if you don't find one that you like, you can go in there and add more directly either from the mobvoi app or even download them straight from the Google Play Store. And that's one of the big benefits here, is the ability of actually customizing this watch. The one thing I will say though, pay attention to some of the watch faces that you get directly from the Google Play Store and make sure that they're not draining the battery too much. The best battery performance is always going to be on a mobvoi built-in one, because that's how it was basically optimized. Now this one example, again, this is the complication we changed here. It shows us all the information that I want, and if I don't want it, I can let it go in directly into essential mode. And again, this is the low power mode. It doesn't need anything. If I need more information without even turning on the display, I can actually start cycling through all of that, and it still helps save the battery. I am very happy with the updates and the improvements that they've done to this watch. The battery life on this is a solid 3 days of usage. Now I will say though, if you do a lot of exercises, that may bring you down closer to about 1.5 to 2 days. And that's mostly because it's going to be activating depending if you're running outside with GPS. And I did activate a couple of those, and I did a couple of runs outside as well as on indoor treadmill running. So it worked really nice for the setting that you're in. Now, the biggest thing about this watch is that it's using one of the best processors that we have on the market right now, but that kind of comes with a plus and a minus. So what we're seeing right now is that we don't have Google Assistant functionalities in here. There is no Google Assistant. You cannot initiate it on the watch. You can obviously still initiate it on your phone. There's not going to be a problem. If you just say the active word, your phone should be able to pick it up. But if you're used to setting it up directly on the watch by using it, unfortunately that's not here right now. I'm hoping at some point in the future things could change, but this is similar to some of the other options available outside of just Samsung and the Google Pixel Watch right now running the latest edition. We only have those functions built in there. Outside of that, we have to rely on basically the OS. We get the functionalities, but if you notice right there, we're not even using the Wear app. We're actually using the mobvoi Health app to connect to our watch. So a lot of small things have changed on the device, but the overall experience stays the same. Very fast, very fluid. You saw how fast things were transitioning, and this is consistently across every other day. Even if I restart the watch, it doesn't start up slow and kind of move up. I was trying to do a quick comparison to my Galaxy Watch, and at boot up, it was a little bit sluggish. It takes a little bit of time to build up the libraries. That's not here. This is literally one of the fastest implementations that I've seen. The speaker on this is pretty decent. Again, it's a smartwatch speaker, so don't expect a lot, but if you need to answer a call, this is going to be a really cool thing for you guys. Microphone speaker built in here. The ability to control your content. You're actually able to load some media onto this and listen to music. And what I mean by this is YouTube Music allows me to actually download content on here. We have an increased amount of basically RAM and storage, up to 32 gigabytes of storage with 2 gigabytes of RAM, upgraded from last year's, well, the last edition, which was the 3 Pro Ultra, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's the 3 Ultra, that was the last one they released. And then speaking of that dual display, this is literally mobvoi's bread and butter, and I'm glad that they're doubling down on this. I think the last 2 generations we've seen small improvements, the ability of customizing the color on that, but then that was pretty much it last time. Now we're actually able to customize it, not only from the ability of basically seeing more data, but also allow it to be measured, kind of like tune it into the exercise that you're doing by changing the tone of the color of the display based on the zone that you're in. So health measurement is a big function in here. The W5 Plus provide us much better battery life, low power consumption, and a better smooth UI experience. We saw the improvements going to 1 gig of RAM gig of RAM on the watch in the last couple of generations, to what we went now to the 2 gigs of RAM, and of course up to 32 gigabytes of storage, so you can load up all the content, put all those offline playlists in there. So Google Play Music runs really nice. I love that. I have my subscription there, so it works really good on the watch. Of course, there's also applications that support, your Tesla, all of the things that you get on Wear. It's going to work here. It has the Google Play Store and it runs very nice. I'm truly very happy to see the 2023 update from mobvoi with the Ticwatch Pro 5. A lot of functional options, a couple of things that may not be there. So if the assistant is a big part of what you need, there's really only 2 options on the market right now. It's either a Samsung watch or a Google Pixel watch. Otherwise, other than that, you're pretty much getting what we're getting here, but I still feel like mobvoi is giving us a very unique and a very powerful experience. Long battery life, so you can actually track multiple days and nights worth of information, not just a day and a half, or even just 2 days. So this is really nice. The functionalities that we get in here with all the updates that we saw in there, as far as software, one-tap measurement, GPS, compass, all of the different options that you have in there, but also the ability of not having to go into the full UI. Running on that secondary display allows us to extend the battery even more. Of course, if you run it in essential mode, you can go even longer than that and be in full-on essential mode. But this is where the balance kind of becomes functional for us and still makes it so that we don't have to worry about it. And then when you put it on the charger, it charges much faster than the last one. So again, a lot of cool things. I hope that you found this interesting, and I also hope that you like what Ticwatch is offering. Like and subscribe as usual, and I'll see you in the next video.